Welcome to A Better You, your one-stop shop for everything self-improvement, self-discovery and self-care. I'm Emily, and today we're going to talk about creating your bucket list. Firstly, what is a bucket list? A bucket list is essentially a list of things that you want to do before you die. Now, this can be as big or as little as you'd like, and it can be related to anything. So, for example, it could be travel goals, it could be experience goals, it could be having kids, getting married. The only real limit here is your imagination. And the reason that you need a bucket list is to start really focusing your life, start thinking about what you would like to achieve before you die so that you are spending your time in the best possible way and making sure that you really are getting the value out of your life. Essentially, this is there to make sure that as you get older, you look back on your life and you have achieved what you want to achieve. You are in a space where you would like to be. I created my bucket list on paper first and then photographed it and put it on my Pinterest board, and I will link that down below. And essentially I will put on items that inspire me onto my bucket list to do, as it were. And I will also put photos of the things that I've managed to tick off my bucket list onto that Pinterest board. What's really nice about keeping it online and in that more longer term storage, I guess, is the fact that down the line my kids might be able to see that and might be able to see how important certain parts of their lives are to me and achieving things for them as well. To create your own bucket list, start by thinking out quite generally. So these are things that you might want to think about. How would you like to be remembered in the future? When you die, what would you like people to say about you? How would you like people to see that you've lived your life? These more generic elements might give you your first few items. And for example, that could be things like marry my best friend or have a kid. And next, you could start to think about specific areas of your life. So for example, travel, experiences, family, love, career. There are loads of different sections that you could think of, and it's about making sure that these are really relevant and important to you. This could get you to as far as you want to go, so it might be that you'd like to stop there. But if you're still struggling to really find items and to think of things that you'd like to do, then what I would suggest as the next step is to get yourself on Pinterest, get yourself on Instagram, and search the tag bucket list, and you will find plenty of ideas that might just inspire you and might be that one thing that you didn't realize you wanted to do, but it's actually, it sparks something within you and you would like to put that on your bucket list. And then you write it down. So I personally have a list of 100 things on my bucket list. I think it's 101 now, but I also have my Pinterest board that stores extra things that didn't make that original cut. And what we will do in the future is a video on how to achieve some of those things on your bucket list. So how to actually go about planning to achieve it, how to go about making sure that you really are prioritizing those things. So what's on my bucket list? And apologies because I do have a list I'm referring to here, just to go through and share more about what's on that list. I have that I would like to water ski, to hang glide, to spend a night in a haunted house, to spend a night in the desert, to drive all around the world, to swim with turtles, to make a $100 single blackjack bet, to get hypnotized if that's possible for me, to walk on hot coals, to ride a Harley Davidson, to get my master's degree, to go to Cape Town, to ride in a hot air balloon, to feed sharks, to go to Pompeii, to go to Machu Picchu, to go to the Taj Mahal, to see the pyramids, to go skydiving, to buy my forever house, that one house that you will live in as you grow up, that is exactly how you want it to be, to own my own library in my forever house, to dive with great white sharks without the cage. So apparently that is a thing now, not from a tourism perspective, but from a fact that they know that they're not as dangerous if the cage is not there and if they've not been baited. To own a swimming pool, to visit South America and to visit Antarctica, and that will mean that I've been to every single continent. To make £1 million actually in the bank in savings. To see the Northern Lights, to go on a road trip down the Californian coast, to visit Santa Cruz and LA on that road trip, to go to New Orleans at Mardi Gras, to write my family history down. Now, I've got it all on ancestry.com, but I would like to actually physically get it down in one book so that I can pass it down to my children, so that they can pass it down to their children, so that it's there in a durable format. To write a novel, to ride a helicopter, to own an Alaskan Malamute, which is the coolest dog ever, to see whales in the wild, to see wolves in the wild, which we've kind of half done because I saw, unfortunately, a dead wolf in Turkey. But I don't want to see a dead one. I obviously prefer to see an alive one. To see polar bears in the wild and to become PADI certified. To try kangaroo meat, to visit Texas, to go to Maine, because I love Stephen King books, to go to Russia, to drink beer at Oktoberfest, and to visit Transylvania. And the things that I've already done and achieved and ticked off on my bucket list are that I've fed crocodiles, I've eaten crocodiles, I've eaten stingray, I've worked in a film company, I've worked in a music company, I've travelled alone to California when I was 17, I modelled in New York Fashion Week, I've seen the Dead Sea Scrolls, I've been to P. Diddy's White Party, I've had poems published, I've eaten in a Michelin-starred restaurant, I've swam with dolphins, I've been to the Grand Canyon, I've dived the Great Barrier Reef, I've surfed the Golden Coast in Australia, I've been to Sydney New Year's, I've lived in New York for 4 years, I've travelled with a young baby, and I would very much advise everyone to do that if you ever have kids. I've been to Cappadocia, I've learned a new language, I've learned a few new languages now, I've been to a rainforest, I'm married to my best friend, I've done a European road trip, and that was from England right through to Athens. I've been to Hagia Sophia, I volunteered on a big game reserve for 4 weeks, I've bungee jumped, I've paraglided, I've been to the full moon party in Thailand, I've met a mob boss, I've been to Niagara Falls, I've earned my degree, I've driven a motorbike through Turkey, or I've been the pillion actually on a motorbike in Turkey. I've been on the stratosphere rides in Vegas, I've been to a volcano, I've dived with sharks without the cage, and I've seen a Broadway play. I've actually seen several Broadway plays, having lived in New York for 4 years. I've fed a tiger cub, I've stroked a tiger, I rode a camel, I've stroked a crocodile, I've dived with stingrays, I've worked at MTV, I've swum with jellyfish, I became a lady, so I own a square foot of land in the Lake District so that I'm a lady now. I've held a monkey, I've held a snake, I've been to Alcatraz, I've been to Stonehenge, I've been to Loch Ness, I've been to the World Music Conference in Miami, I've been jet skiing, I've been on a £1,000 shopping spree, I've wrote a letter to future me, I've had a baby, and actually I've now had 2 babies, I've been to Iceland, I've passed my driving test, I've held a spider, and I've been to Amsterdam. And that's my list, that's what I've done so far. So what's on your list? Or what will be on your list if you haven't written one yet? If you'd like to share in the comments below, that would be fantastic. And is there any of these items that are on my list that you would like me to explore in more detail? Maybe you've got them on your list and would like to understand more about what the experience was like or how I managed to make that happen. Please do like and share this video, and please do comment down below. And please do subscribe so that you can have more weekly self-care, self-discovery and self-improvement content.